Welcome back to the King Films College Football Bowl predictions, and in this video I will be predicting every single bowl in college football in the 2021-22 season. But if you were looking for the New Year's Six bowls or the college football playoff predictions, please click in the top right for some detailed analysis. I will be brushing over the results in this one, but if you want some detailed analysis, click in the top right for that one, and also stay tuned for the college football bowl betting locks coming out later as well. So let's get it started with the Bahamas Bowl between Middle Tennessee and Toledo, and I'm going to have to go with Toledo in this one. They're the better team here, I believe. They played Notre Dame tough, obviously, early in the season. This is a above average Toledo team, and I think they'll be able to get it done against Middle Tennessee. Cure Bowl, I'm going to have the MAC champs in Northern Illinois. I've always been sus of Coastal Carolina this whole season. Despite their 10-2 record, they played literally the softest schedule in the nation. I'm not lying. They played the 130th ranked schedule in terms of strength in the nation. So that 10-2 record, that's what it should be. Coastal is very good, but I don't even understand how they have two losses. Their schedule was very weak. Obviously, they lost that one at Appalachian State, but I'm going to have Northern Illinois winning this one. They've been the better team down the stretch. Speaking of App State, we're going to have them winning the Boca Raton Bowl against a good Western Kentucky team. Beware, Western Kentucky is very good, but I think that App State will win this. They just dropped that Sun Belt title, but I see them coming back here with a vengeance, wanting that trophy and getting one in the Boca Raton Bowl. Celebrations Bowl, this is an FCS game. I believe Dion's team will win due to their 11-1 record. I really can't tell you much about either of these teams. In the New Mexico Bowl, I'm going to have Fresno State over UTEP. UTEP got off to a very good start to the season, but they've kind of collapsed down the stretch. Also, their strength of schedule is an issue to me. They did not play many good opponents, whereas Fresno State actually has a few decent wins. They played Oregon, they played UCLA, upset by SDSU, but I think they're the much better team here in this Western Showdown. Independence Bowl, and hammer BYU by 1,000,000 points here against UAB. BYU has been wronged. Obviously, there was no real way to put them into a New Year's Six bowl game, but from their narrative, they have been wronged. 2 losses, 5 wins over Pac-12 teams. They beat Utah head-to-head, and because they don't have a conference, they don't get that invitation to the Rose Bowl like Utah did. So I think that it's unfortunate that UAB has to play them in this circumstance. UAB is the closer team to this game, but BYU is just going to win this game as they are out for vengeance after being wronged like this. In the Lending Tree Bowl, I'm going to have a solid Liberty squad who has kind of faltered down the stretch here, but have no fear, they're a great squad, and I think that they will beat this Eastern Michigan team. Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl, and I'm going to have the Oregon State Beavers to beat the Utah State Aggies in a shocking upset. Utah State just played here in LA against San Diego State in that Mountain West title game, and they were dominant. But Oregon State is a different team here. They did lose the Civil War against a reeling Oregon team, but I think that they're the better team here, and I think that they have a good chance here to shock Utah State. I like the value of Oregon State here. Moving on to the New Orleans Bowl, I'm going to have the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana. Yes, they did lose their coach, but I still think that they are far better than a 7-5 Marshall squad, and they will take this one. Myrtle Beach Bowl, I'm really unsure of who to pick here. I think this should be more even, but we'll see where that Vegas line comes out, and I might be able to change my pick. But for now, I'm going with Tulsa. They lost to UC Davis at the beginning of the season, and they played pretty close to Ohio State for a while, but it's been a long time since then. They ended the season with a good win over SMU. Old Dominion's also had an up and down season, so I could see this one going either way. I'm not confident in my pick, but I'm just going to go with Tulsa over Old Dominion here. Famous Idaho Potato Bowl. I like the value on Wyoming, a 6-6 Wyoming. We actually bet against them a couple times. They came back to bite us both times. So this time I'm going to go on their side. And Kent State was obviously in that MAC championship. They lost, but Wyoming has been playing well this whole year. Regardless of what their record says, they have pretty much a home game here in Idaho. Next up, Frisco Bowl. And I'm going to pick San Diego State to win this one. UTSA just seems to be far overrated. Their strength of schedule is not up to par. San Diego State, don't let that lopsided score against Utah State tell you anything. They had a few men missing. There were a lot of circumstances going against them in that one, despite it being on their home floor, which isn't actually at their school right now as they're rebuilding their stadium. Give me number 24, San Diego State, to take care of business against UTSA in the Frisco Bowl. Army, I'm going to have winning over Missouri. I'll have more logic on this one once Army's actually done with their regular season schedule. I'm surprised that Vegas even released a line, as Army still has to play Navy this week. We'll have a play coming up on that one as well. North Texas, I'm going to have over Miami, Ohio in the Frisco Football Classic, which is an interesting bowl to me. And let's move on to the Gasparilla Bowl. Florida already had to beat FSU to make a bowl game, and I'm going to have them beating UCF here in the bowl game to make it 2-0 against those Florida teams. UCF, yeah, they have a great record, but who have they played down the stretch? These wins are coming over horrible teams in the American. This is why Cincinnati got so much flack, because there are just some bottom dwellers in the American. But give me Florida there. Hawaii Bowl, who will win this matchup? And let's go with Memphis over Hawaii. I'm not really sure why Hawaii is in this game at 6-7. Obviously, they get that 13th game every year as a bonus for playing so far from everyone, but Memphis should be the better team here despite the travel. Let's move on to the Camellia Bowl, and I'm going to have Georgia State. I liked how they looked against Auburn. Haven't really covered their season much from there, but seeing their results, I like them against Ball State here. Western Michigan is a team that I've been high on from the beginning, and we're going to hammer them in the Quick Lane Bowl. Obviously, they beat Pitt at the beginning, lost to Michigan. Down the stretch, they really faltered to not even make that MAC championship, but down the stretch, they got a couple of key wins. They beat Northern Illinois, the champs, down the stretch, and Nevada has been up and down, but while I do like the Mountain West Conference at large, Nevada is not one of the teams that I do. Give me Western Michigan here. Going to have Boston College over East Carolina in the Military Bowl. I really don't respect either of these teams, but East Carolina, I really just do not want to pick them to win any sort of games, so we're going to go with Boston College here. Birmingham Bowl, it pains me to do this, but I am going to have to pick a 6-6 Auburn team. You just have to assume that they're going to get their guy back, and thus that 6-6 record really is a misnomer for them. First Responder Bowl, I'm going to take Air Force. They've had a very strong season out of the Mountain West. A couple head-scratching results from them, but Louisville really had a strong middle part of their season, but then really fell off, and the ACC was just weak, so I don't even really need much of an excuse to pick Air Force here. Liberty Bowl, I'm not really sure how Texas Tech got it done to be in a bowl down the stretch here. Give me Mississippi State. They've been a strong team all year, played that grueling SEC West slate, picked up a couple of marquee non-conference wins, got jobbed against Memphis on the punt return touchdown, so this record is a little deflated. Give me Mississippi State easy against Texas Tech here. Holiday Bowl, I'm going to take UCLA in the upset over NC State. I just don't respect the ACC that much, and NC State is certainly not one of the teams that I respect. I know that UCLA has not been very good this season in a weak Pac-12 in their own right, but UCLA has found a way to pick up these results down the stretch. They've beat USC and Cal in the past couple of weeks, but give me UCLA to get it done here in the Holiday Bowl. Guaranteed Rate Bowl. Give me West Virginia in the shocker against an 8-4 Minnesota. And similar to a couple of other teams that I've already mentioned, I have a grudge against this Minnesota team. Ever since the committee ranked them in those first rankings, I've just been on a mission to show how bad Minnesota is, as I did not agree with that ranking. West Virginia is not a good team in their own right, and they might be worse and they might lose, but just for the grudge pick against Minnesota and this inflated record in that Big Ten West, I'm going to have to pick West Virginia here in what I see as a better top to bottom conference in the Big 12. Fenway Bowl, I'm going to have Virginia winning this one. A lot of people have SMU here, but I'm going to go with Virginia. I know I said I don't like the ACC, but I'm going to go with them for 2 straight picks here. SMU has played that horrible American slate. That might be the one conference I like worse than the ACC here. Moving on to the Pinstripe Bowl, Virginia Tech, I'm going to have to pick with the 6-6 record over a Maryland team that just hasn't looked right all season. They've been blown out by all the contenders. Virginia Tech hasn't done much. Remember when that win in the first week of the season over UNC looked great, but neither of those teams are very good now. But I am going to have Virginia Tech taking care of business there. Cheez It Bowl, let's go with Clemson easily against an Iowa State team that has improved a bit from where they were at the middle of the season, but I'm going to have to go with Clemson, another team that has been on the up and up as of late. Alamo Bowl, and this is just the fraudulent bowl in my opinion. Oklahoma that got out to that great start, and fraudulent Oregon that also got off to that great start and then lost to Utah twice and Stanford. I'm going to pick Oregon, but just barely, just because Oklahoma doesn't really have a head coach. Obviously, they got the hire as of late, but he probably isn't going to coach in the bowl game. I think this is a prestigious bowl, and both of these teams have that number by them, but these are just not good teams. I'm glad they're playing so we can see who the real fraud is out of the two. Duke's Mayo Bowl, and I'm going to have to go with North Carolina in a pseudo-rivalry game here, just because South Carolina, I wasn't really sure how they got to 6 wins. I haven't been watching them over the past couple weeks, and it turns out that they just capitalized on teams that were in free fall. In Florida without their head coach, and then Auburn without their quarterback. I'm super surprised that South Carolina even got to 6 wins, and for that reason, I'm going to be picking the ACC team in North Carolina. Music City Bowl, I'm going to have to go with the closer side to this one in Tennessee. Even though Purdue is an enticing pick here, I like Tennessee. They got off to a great start to their season, ended off with a couple wins, but Purdue has been good throughout. But Tennessee's start is just the thing that made me fall in love with this team. They didn't really beat any contenders. They played close with some, but I'm going to have to go with Tennessee here. I just think that the SEC top to bottom was better than the Big Ten this year, despite Purdue's wins over some marquee opponents. Las Vegas Bowl. Let's go with Wisconsin over a reeling Arizona State team. Obviously, they won the Territorial Cup, but can't really give them anything against a 1-win Arizona team. Wisconsin also reeling, but going to have to pick them just because I think they improved enough from the beginning of the season to where I think they're the better team at this point in time, but we'll have to see. Gator Bowl, let's go with Texas A&M, even though they lost LSU in horrible fashion in the last week of the season. Wake Forest found a way to one-up them with their collapse down the stretch after their big undefeated start. I think that, again, the SEC top to bottom with 13 bowl-eligible teams is just better than even the top ACC competition. Sun Bowl, I'm going to pick Washington State here. They've been playing well as of late, won that Apple Cup in dominant fashion, and again, weak ACC slate here. Miami is one of the better teams despite that record. They've lost a couple close games, lost to Alabama in the non-conference, but I'm going to have Washington State. This should be one of the better bowl games. I'm calling it right now. Arizona Bowl, give me Central Michigan to beat Boise State in the shocker. Boise State in the Citrus Bowl, give me Kentucky over Iowa. I'm going to stay high on the SEC, even though Iowa was in that Big Ten championship game. They didn't give me anything to look forward to in this matchup, and I think that Kentucky has just been a consistently good team. Much to the surprise of most people in the college football world, give me Kentucky here. Texas Bowl, LSU also got off to a slow start, but has picked it up in the last few weeks of the season, while Kansas State has been up and down. They're probably proud of their 7-5 record given the team that they fielded this year. But give me the Tigers to win this one, even with the coaching uncertainty. Finally, we've got the Outback Bowl, and I'm going to take Arkansas beating Penn State. These are both teams that got out to hot starts but have since gone downhill. One of them will be able to put a nice ending on their season, and I think that is going to be Arkansas here. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more content, and comment your predictions below.